If you think a smart home is just about telling a speaker to turn on the lights, you're about to see how tiny that idea has become. We're moving way beyond a home that just obeys commands. We're stepping into the age of a home that anticipates, that understands, and that acts all on its own. Okay, let's really dive into this.
So right off the bat, we need to get this distinction clear. The difference between a smart home and a sentient home. The smart home you know today, it's basically reactive. It's a tool, and it waits for you to tell it what to do. The sentient home, on the other hand, is proactive. It's not a tool at all. It's more like a partner, an agent that thinks and plans for you. This isn't just an upgrade, you guys. It's a completely new definition of what a home can be.
So how in the world does a house learn to think? Well, the first huge shift is in its intelligence. It's all about moving from that simple command and response we're used to actually understanding and pulling off complex, multi-step goals. And the secret ingredient? It's a whole new kind of artificial intelligence. And that new form of AI is called Agentic AI. I want you to think of it less like a chatbot and more like a really, really good project manager. See, unlike AIs that just give you text or an image, an agentic AI can take a big picture goal, figure out all the steps needed to get there, and then actually take action in the real world by coordinating all the different systems in your house. It's the difference between asking an assistant to research something and telling a manager to just get the project done. Let me paint a picture of how this works. You don't give it a detailed checklist. You just give it one simple high-level goal, like, hey, prep the house for a party tonight. An orchestrator agent, the big boss, then deploys a whole team of specialist AIs. You've got the energy agent dialing in the perfect temperature, the wellness agent curating an amazing playlist, and the security agent getting a list of your friends' faces to expect at the door. So you see, it's not one AI trying to do everything. It's a whole team working together, all from one single command. But for a home to have this much control over your life, you have to be able to trust it, right? And that's why this next part, the shift to edge AI, is so unbelievably important. Instead of sending all your private data, your conversations, your habits, everything, to some company's server in the cloud, Edge AI processes all of that information locally, right there, inside your own home. And what does that mean for you? It means high security, real-time responses with no internet lag, and high stability because it keeps working even if your Wi-Fi dies. The big takeaway here is that privacy is finally being built in from the ground up. Okay, so the home is getting smarter. But the next evolution, this is where things get really personal. The home isn't just going to manage your comfort anymore. It's going to manage your health. We're moving from just passively tracking our steps to proactively providing treatment. It's a huge trend called the medicalization of the home. And look, this isn't some far-off fantasy. At the super high end of the market, this is already happening. Luxury homes are being built with amenities that look like they're straight out of a futuristic wellness clinic. We are talking about things like hyperbaric oxygen chambers, cryotherapy pods, red light therapy panels built right into the bathroom walls. There are even smart toilets that analyze your waste to look for early signs of disease, and wearable headsets that can help treat anxiety and depression. Your home is literally becoming a personal wellness center. Now that's all stuff you actively choose to do. But here's where the concept gets even crazier, and maybe a little more profound. What happens when the home starts to monitor and care for our health ambiently? In the background, without us ever having to put on a device or push a single button. The technology that makes this possible is called ambient sensing. Just imagine sensors that are built right into the floors of your house. These aren't cameras, so don't worry. They're ultra-wideband sensors that can analyze a person's gait, their walking speed, their balance, to figure out their risk of falling or to detect signs of physical decline. For elder care, this is an absolute game changer. It's a safety net that is completely invisible and totally non-intrusive.
Okay, so we've got a home that thinks for us and a home that cares for us. But the next transformation is about the very substance of the home itself, the actual bricks and mortar. The whole idea of sustainability is shifting from just being net zero, doing no harm, to being regenerative. And that means our homes will actually start to heal the environment.
And this quote, wow, it just says it all, doesn't it? The future of construction isn't just about assembling materials anymore, it's about cultivating them. It is a fundamental shift from an industrial process to a biological one. I know, this stuff sounds like it's straight out of a science fiction movie, but these materials are real. We're talking about mycelium composites, where you can literally grow fire-resistant insulation from mushroom roots. There's hempcrete, which is a concrete alternative that's breathable and actually sucks CO2 out of the air. And get this, self-healing concrete that uses bacteria to produce limestone, automatically fixing any cracks that form. Wild. The implication of all this is just huge.
Your house will no longer be a passive thing that just consumes resources. It becomes an active participant in the ecosystem. Your home will literally become a carbon sink, pulling more CO2 out of the atmosphere than was used to create it. A home that doesn't just protect you, but helps restore the planet.
Okay, this all sounds amazing, right? A thinking, healing, growing home, but we have to talk about the price, because all of this incredible technology has the potential to create a deep, new kind of social division, an inequality that's not just based on money, but on data and privacy.
We're looking at two potential paths here, two completely different realities. On one side, you have the disconnected elite. These are the folks who use their money to buy back their privacy. They'll build rooms with no tech, maybe even Faraday cages to block all signals, and they'll pay extra for those private, offline edge AI systems. And then, on the other side, you could have the data-subsidized renter, who might have to trade their privacy just to afford a place to live. I mean, imagine every single thing you do, how often you cook, who comes over, feeding into a score that decides whether you get to keep your home.
And you could bet there's big money driving this split. Just installing those high-tech wellness gadgets we talked about can jack up a property's value by 2 to 5%. That makes these features a luxury good, and it widens the gap between a home designed to make you live longer and one that's designed to just collect your data.
And this is where we get to a really unsettling idea: algorithmic housing. This isn't just about your rent changing with the market. It's about losing your stability, your autonomy. A bad tenant score, maybe for using too much electricity or having guests over too often, could follow you around, making it harder and harder to find another place to live. It could create a permanent underclass, trapped by the very algorithms that run their homes. So let's just step back for a second. What have we really talked about here? The home is transforming from a passive pile of wood and stone into something infinitely more complex. It's becoming a living, thinking, biomechanical organism that takes care of us, that heals itself, and that's woven into the very fabric of our lives. And that leaves us with one last, massive question to think about. As the walls around us literally come alive with an intelligence and an agency of their own, who or what is truly in control? And what is the price of living inside?